think it's an update.
I think so. Update time.
Yeah. So, it looks to me like you're building a blazer. Is that true?
That's true. I think yeah, I think there's two of us building a blazer here, and we've got two in front of us here.
We started off with the Vaterra Ascender unboxing. Remember that update?
Yeah, I do. I do. That was a few months ago, midsummer.
We had yeah, there was a couple of kind of quirks about the kit that we noticed back then when we were first unboxing, and after they looked like they're half done, how do you feel about it now?
I'm so happy with the build. I'm really excited. You know, this one in particular, it was quite large. This model is quite large. So
it's a big truck.
Yeah, there was some. I was some question. I like them slightly, the 1/10, the true 1/10,
yeah.
And these seem to be 1/9.
Yeah.
So I was a little leery, but now actually building an interior and holding and handling it, I really like the size. I really like the build. So.
So when you're talking about building interior, like how did this all get started? I mean, they don't come that way, right? I mean,
no.
When we did the unboxing, it was like, oh, this body is enormous, and then when you kind of hang it under the frame, there's like this gaping hole inside the body that's just got nothing. Yeah, yeah.
It truly, once you sort of get the chassis built and you get the body on top of it, you realize that there's a really big opportunity that's there in order for you to create an interior. However, as we've discussed before, there's a big chunk of metal and plastic that sits in the middle of the chassis, which seems to get in the way.
Meaning the motor and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So luckily, GCM is out there with our motor forward sort of concept, which we've used the Ascender kit, combo kit, and it is really sort of done well for us to create an interior.
Hey, you guys know this from the update that we tried to do about interiors and stuff, but like basically, I'm scared of interiors. And, you know, Dana kind of helps me out a lot with that because he's done a whole bunch of custom interiors, and so I kind of defer to him to say, like, how do I get started or whatever. And we sort of talked about this a little bit with our interior building tips video. Remember that on the Scale Talk?
Yeah, I do. And,
if some of you guys have been following the Scale Garage on Facebook or having a look at the build threads that we've both started on the Scale Builders Guild, links below for the two build threads.
Yeah.
These things have really progressed really far. Yeah. And you'll hear on the build thread, you know, like I've kind of gotten past my styrene phobia.
Sure.
And I kind of like it.
Yeah, you know, funny you should say that. We were talking about that earlier.
I like styrene now. It's fun.
Working with styrene is a lot of fun. The more you work with it, the more I enjoy it. The more I understand it, the more I understand how it glues and so on. It's a lot of fun, and it's and this kit particular is really given me an opportunity to expand my experience with styrene. Yeah.
Well, you've already had way more than I have experience.
Well, this one truly has exercised all of my sort of, you know, skills, knowledge, what have you. It's really sort of tested my my lengths in which I can use styrene. So I've enjoyed it.
And I kind of went from nothing to styrene overload.
Yeah, I know you really sort of devoted a few days, hours, months, weeks, whatever. Really coming together with a really nice interior that you've done on this kit here. It's quite nice.
You know, the whole styrene thing started for me by trying to make inner fenders on this truck. Yeah. And I knew I needed inner fenders on it just because I plan on running it at Sorka events and whatnot, and I didn't want all that dirt flying into my electronics and all that stuff. So I started with the inner fenders and the kind of like just like a two side trays, you know, between the front and back wheels, you know, and it turned into the floor. And then I needed some kind of a side to hold it up because it was flopping, and then it just kind of grew from there.
It sure did. You've done a really good job with it.
And I discovered my love for interior building because of one special little thing that's only a 1/4 inch around. Can you guess what it is?
No, no idea.
Magnets!
Oh, right. Yes.
I'm now in love with magnets.
These amazing little magnets that you can use now that are so strong for all kinds of uses have been really, really sort of awesome.
I found them at Lee Valley, which is a woodworking shop locally, and they're little 1/4 inch round rare earth magnets. They're just a tiny little thing, and really strong. They're super fun to use, and you can actually like put stuff together. It was really cool. Yeah.
You know what? I actually. You gave me a bunch and said, you need to try these. And I said, okay, sure. And I know that I've seen them in the hobby here and there. And you know, they're a cool concept. But when you really start to work with them. But one of the things that I started to do was when I needed to styrene 2 parts together and I didn't have enough hands or fingers to do it, I would actually use the magnets to hold the pieces together in order to glue that seam of styrene that you're doing, what have you. So
yeah, I never thought of doing that.
So I actually use them as a tool to hold whatever I need to glue together.
Wow, that's a good idea.
And so it really is working well. And now we've gone to sort of using them to mount our bodies, which is common out there, but I've just sort of gotten into it thanks to you, and I've really enjoyed the magnets that you can use for these types of builds.
Yeah, the whole magnet thing totally revolutionized my interior.
Yeah, yeah. And again, going back to your building, you'd be amazed what you can do with them to help you build.
I mean, I was like not wanting to glue stuff. You know, I didn't want to glue the seats. I didn't want to glue my tunnel cover. I just didn't want to glue that stuff on because then once it's there,
it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
And then you have no access to the transfer case, you know, unless you start pulling all kinds of stuff apart. And so I just went nuts on the magnets, and I love it.
Well, and you know, again, there's a good thought process there. You know, I don't like to say that we've been oftentimes, but, you know, when you're on the trail and you've got a sort of, and you have a break or, you know, you need a battery change or what have you, sometimes, based on the build, you have to sort of tear your rig apart just to get into whatever you need to get into.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And so being able to use these magnets and making it almost modular really helps. And I think you've done a really good job with this. So tell me, this is going to have like a dual function, right? Like,
it is.
So tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, do you want to grab the other body?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
So on my build thread, I'm actually building a 1984 M1009 military blazer. Okay? So that's what this is going to end up being. This is the body that's going in the 84 military build. And I just started working on the steel bumpers there now. It's got, I changed the grill around a little bit, so it went from 86 to 84.
Really like that. You know, by the way, really clever. As soon as you showed me that, I thought that's awesome. What a great idea. Sort of
so simple.
Yeah, you know, it takes it away from all the 86s out there, right?
Yep.
So that's a really smart, neat idea.
Yeah,
I may do that too.
This body, I think I already said somewhere in a video that it came from, pardon my noob.
Yes.
I think he was tired of the Lexan as soon as he opened the box, so I was really happy to have it because he painted it up with this cool little camo sort of idea on the outside, so it'll scratch nice, and it gave me a head start on my 84 build, so that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and at the same time that I'm using this as my comp body, I'm also building the factory Vaterra blazer body as a civilian body. So I'm going to paint this one with the factory white color. It'll be all 100% white, 1984, with the chrome trim on it and all that stuff. So that's why we've got these GCM Detroits going on.
Really nice.
The civilian wheels. The military wheels are black. Same wheel, but black.
Right. So let's just quickly talk about that combination that you ended up with tonight. So you've got the Detroits with the Fun Country.
Yeah, these are the 1.9 Fun Country, and you can tell they just fit the truck just mint.
Aren't those nice?
Yeah, the rim size and the offset and the tires are just... And I've lowered it though, you know that, eh?
Well, yeah, you've definitely made it look and have the proper stance that you'd want to see, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes these are way too tall or way too jacked up.
The shocks are so huge from the factory. You guys building Vaterra Ascenders, you already know this.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see because it's all weathered already, but I've got
awesomely, by the way.
Thank you,
The weathering is incredible.
So I've got the Dinky SCX-10 cantilever kit in the back,
yep.
link below.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that gave me all the stock travel I wanted, and it fits in nice. It gave me a full floor in the trunk.
Sure.
And then I put 95mm shocks in the front, which are axial SCX-10 stock shocks.
Oh,
so
okay.
I replaced the big long 109s or whatever they are with the 95s up front. And that caused a few other issues, but at the end of the day I got exactly what I wanted, which was stock travel, you know, a nice articulation, good wheel coverage. I'm really happy with the size of these tires.
Oh, it's just so nice.
You comped these tires already last year.
I have. They perform well. They really perform well. They sort of have a square tread to them, so they get your sidewall is going to be really nice. Good. I'm very happy with them. Truly.
I haven't rode on them yet, so I'm happy to see how they turn out.
Yeah, and this Detroit, this look, this feel, that was an option tire back then.
It was.
Correct, right?
You could totally buy that right from the dealer.
So super scale.
Super scale. I mean, I'm trying to go for the civilian look.
Yep.
And the other look will be, you know, 100% military, and that actually caused a bunch of problems for my interior as well, because the military interior was stripped out, basic, rudimentary.
Sure, of course.
It was just like overspray body paint on the inside, and then they camoed the thing on the outside, and there's no frills. But the civilian interior has carpet and all the other stuff, right? So
yeah,
I had to kind of create a dual interior.
Yeah. When you've done a good job, I think, you know, the way you've done it, and you know, this
Thanks.
might be good an opportunity to sort of take the
lid off.
lid
I can show you what I did. I mean,
yeah, it looks really good. He sort of. It's an awesome build, especially for someone who's, you know, just starting to get into styrene. It really sort of came together quite nice, and yeah, I sort of got a blue sort of feel to it. It's got a black and blue feel, really nice.
I put a rad in the front.
Yeah, good job.
It's actually a Yeti or Exo rad.
Okay.
That I put in behind the Lexan, cut the Lexan out for part of the rad, and then it screws right into the rad, into the grill, so it works good.
So nice.
Yeah. So, get Jerry's seats there. Get the one with the tape on it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
So, I just started putting the styrene on the floor, like you see there, and the wheel wells and all that. And then that just turned into that. You know, it's all the same stuff. And I built the side panels. And I wanted my civilian truck to have a folding tailgate, so I had to build the folding tailgate. Whether the military body won't have that opening, but the civilian one will.
Sure.
So I had to put that in the interior because obviously it needs a panel.
Nice touch.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
And this is part of my obsession with magnets.
Yes.
My scale accessories, they all have magnets on them, and you can't tell because there's no magnet there. It's actually underneath. Yeehaw!
Isn't that smart? That's so clever. You know, you can sort of put all kinds of accessories now.
Same with the welder.
Mount them.
It just clicks right in there.
Yeah, it just clicks there. Like, it's perfect. What a great idea.
It'll never fall out.
No.
And then I went nuts with the magnets with the rest of it too, though. Like, I mean, I went crazy, right? The dash is on magnets.
Well, we talked about being modular, right? Like, it truly is. It's a really nice system that you've developed.
And then the console is on magnets.
Boom.
I know, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
I got my map and my... Thanks for the Coke bottle, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I have this little cover.
Yeah, so part of the firewall
cover.
Yeah.
And then I put this... The whole entire floor in the center section is all on magnets.
So nice.
Hey, you want to see these? Actually, you can have a look at the magnets there. I put them on little L brackets on the bottom. They go on the frame.
Perfect.
And there's the two on top for the console and another one for the tunnel cover. And now I can wrench on stuff.
Yeah, now it's exposed. You can see that everything here is accessible. So if you need to change or something breaks or you know what have you, it's all ready to go, accessible and easy to work on.
And I don't have to take the whole pan off.
No.
The rest of the interior can just stay there forever.
Really good. Really good concept.
Thanks,
really
man.
nice. And even the finish, it's got a pebbly, hammered finish to it. Really looks nice. You know, sort of what you'd expect either in a sort of scaled down civilian look or a military feel, sort of that hard finish to it.
It's kind of old and rotten looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
So I love magnets. What can I say?
Yeah. Really good job. I really like it.
I'm using magnets in the front too for the hood, right here. So on the military body, the magnets actually hold the body down. And on the civilian body, the hood opens.
So you're doing that, right? You're going to sort of take the hood and remove it from the body?
I've never successfully chopped a hood off a Lexan body before, but I have no choice now, so...
there you go.
I'm going to do it somehow. And it'll have an opening hood and an opening tailgate on the same frame, and I can switch the bodies back and forth. And you know whose fault that is? That's Rick's fault. Rick, you know who you are. You. That's your fault.
There you go.
I'm now going to build a bunch of chassis that have multiple bodies because that is the smartest thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is a lot of work here.
Oh, so much work's involved.
And I mean, you had a couple of days off recently too, and you really piled it on.
Yeah, I've devoted some time to building.
Have you ever?
My interior for this. What I've decided to do with mine is mine's a 1974. Luckily, GM never really changed the sort of their bodies. You know,
they didn't.
You know, like they just put different grills and different trim packages on them throughout the years in order to just sort of make them look different. However, you know, I can easily make this into a 1974, which is the plan. And of course, I've just picked up these slots, GCM slots, which. Yay. Again, vintage, super awesome. Just put them together and put them on the rig, and it looks awesome. So that's
super hot.
Yeah, that's really starting to encourage me to want to paint it. My plans for paint, definitely going to go with the black top, mustard color with wood paneling, because in 1974 they had wood paneling on this side of these. So that's the look I'm going to go with. I'm really excited. However, in order to do that, and because of the things that we've added to this specific model, we have an opportunity to create an interior, which I've now done.
Yay!
Yeah, so...
And I see magnets.
Yeah, I've got some magnets, and I've got a couple of magnets. They're right here. They're sort of hard to see, but what they're going to achieve is a little bit of what I find with Lexan bodies is oftentimes the sides of them are very straight.
Yeah, they're kind of like
boxy almost, right?
So, and the Blazer has a super big curve on the bottom there.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to get the magnets just to tuck the body in ever so slightly, just to give it a little bit more of a scale look. So those magnets will hold in on each side, and hopefully that'll work out well. So
that's going to show off your step perfect too.
Yeah,
because you've got these fantastic checker plate steps on it already.
Yeah, they came from the Hilux kit from Tamiya, and
they look good too.
Recycled them into this, so yeah, they're not bad.
They fit perfect under the door. That's like a good fit.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I too have devoted a lot of time to sort of getting the interior to where it is. It's only rough at the moment, but I'm really happy with it.
Show it off, man.
Yeah, so just right now it just sort of clips onto the body.
Yeehaw! Nicely done.
Thank you. One of the nice things is we managed to pick up some pretty awesome scale seats. That I've got on this rig. They come from one of our good friends from the Soul Crawl group.
Yep. Link below for JC Custom Works.
Yeah, Jerry is his name. Awesome guy. And so he's hooked me and you up with some seats, which are really nice. Really sort of got a good scale, good look to them, good feel to them.
And they're light.
And they're light, which is
very
important.
Light.
I've chosen the interior design where the Blazer has a rear seat, so I had this. These are all 3D printed, by the way.
Yeah.
So I had this 3D printed by Jerry, which has come out quite fabulous. Really happy with it. And then I've done a full interior. As you can see, it's you know, it's all the way, you know, it's deep. Interior, dash, the whole bit. It's been a lot of work.
It looks like you're going to do some lights in your dash too.
Yeah, I'm going to light it all up, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a few hints along the way from you. Thanks a lot. And then this is sort of where I came out with it. This would be sort of the civilian Blazer, but with a high-end sort of trim level to it, right? Yeah. So it's going to have a lot of sort of a nice door panel, and then some wood grain trim in the interior. Whereas yours is a little more basic, this one's going to have a little bit more detail to it in that sense. The nice thing that we've also found is we've got a figure or a pilot or a driver that really fits well with this size.
He's a big dude.
He is.
And he looks like he's exactly the right size.
He is the right size. I'm really happy with dude here holding the steering wheel, but he's the perfect size.
Yep.
I'm happy with it. Fits into the interior. So it's been a really fun build. Put a lot of time into this interior. A lot of time left. But that's okay. It's we're gonna have lots of fun finishing this off. Now that I have these new rims, I'm really wanting to get some color on the body.
Well, it's gonna be nice.
Pretty excited.
Now, besides Jerry's seats and a lot of styrene.
Yep.
Did you used a dinky RC interior?
Yeah, and then I'm glad you brought that up because. As we said before, my jumping off point is the Dinky RC Honcho interior kit, which is amazing when you think that that's the jumping off point and you can create this.
You sure did.
However, you know, that's kind of what I use as a blueprint in order to create and to start building my interiors, and I really enjoy that kit. I encourage anyone out there that if you need to build an interior, a custom interior, this is a good point.
So this thing comes with door panels, and a floor, and a bench seat, and a dash, and a cargo area, and it's all like, boom. Yeah, exactly. And so then I just take that and add to it, cut it up. You know, some things I don't use, some things I do use, and just sort of add some layers to the door panels or what have you in order to create what I want to do. For the dash, I sort of cut that one in half and then built driver's side over as my own custom, simply because, you know, I wanted it to be as detailed as possible. And, you know, if it had to be specific to that year and model. So that's kind of where I went with it. Really happy with the build so far. Can't wait to get some color and get this thing on a trail someday. It looks like you pulled the same stunt that I did with all the electronics in the nose. Yeah, yeah. Because you've got the Vaterra box up here on the one side. I do. And then the steering servo in the factory spot, and then you've got your battery 3-cell already tucked in here between the inner fenders and everything. Yeah, really tiny 3-cell, but I'm okay with that at the moment. If I need to go to something bigger, I may build a small box or what have you to sort of hide that. But yeah, really happy with all the parts that I've put on this to be able to sort of achieve what I've done with the interior and the body. Wow. Yeah. That works really good. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. It's been a fun build. Oh yeah. Yeah. And lots to go. Like there's I mean, I've put so much time into it and it's been a labor of love, but there's still a lot to go, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So except for some paint, I think we're almost at the same spot. Like, I mean, I've got a couple of magnets in to hold some accessories, and I haven't mounted my seats yet, which you're ahead of. I got a little paint on, which you're not quite there yet, so no. I think we're kind of at the same spot. Yeah, maybe. I didn't use as many magnets or make it as modular, simply because as I was building, this is sort of my build process. However, there's still some areas where I've left open because I need to service, you know, whether I break on the trail or what have you. So I think I'll be including some magnets in those areas just so I can get access. But yeah, this is where I've ended up. Thank goodness there's still some snow on the ground so we can continue building and sort of hide indoors and hunker down. So lots to go. You could totally put a smoker right in there. Yeah, I could. You know, we could put the smoker, we could put a sound unit, or, you know, again, those units are so incredible. We could, you know, there's a lot of space in these. So yeah, they're big, eh? Yeah, they truly are. Yeah. So yeah, the nice thing is you can build it how you want. There are many options out there, and you know, you've got the space now that you can sort of put those sound units or vibrating units or exhaust system or smoker system. So
space here, so should be fun and interesting to see what I add to this as the time and years go by.
Yep. Yeah. I think this may be one of the few trucks. I have a couple that are keepers, but this is probably one of those ones that'll be a keeper for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this, it's as you build these, they become works of art. They become part of you, and they're always so hard to let go. Yeah, and again, I just to get quickly on the drivetrain, I went with a set of cantilevers on the back also. All the, the goodness of GCM with their transfer case and motor forward design and Ascender combo kit. So yeah, that's basically this update of the Ascender kit for me.
And me.
And you. So we've got a few more weeks, months, what have you, in order to sort of get these things up and running.
Do you want to spend 2 minutes talking about interior building tools?
Yeah, that's also important.
Your magnet for holding styrene parts together, I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
That is so genius.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I've been doing the third hand here with the fancy little clamp, and they're sometimes reliable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oftentimes you get into sort of some intricate work and these things become a bit bulky, but
you can't even fit the thing in. Yeah,
that's maybe where the magnet idea will come in. Obviously, X-Acto knives of all different shapes and sizes, if you've got them, are very handy. Make sure they're sharp. This stuff, when you cut it, you can just score it and then just sort of bend it
and break it.
Snaps. Yeah, that's kind of handy. So this is kind of important.
So to demonstrate, because I didn't know this until a couple weeks ago, you can literally just score a line on your paper, on your styrene here, and I'll show you because it's this easy.
Yeah, it's very simple, and the nice thing is you get a clean, nice, straight line, as long as you can sort of use your X-Acto knife in a straight line.
And not chop your finger off. So I made a big line right there.
Yeah.
And then you just have to bend it on the line, and it literally just snaps off like a piece of old cardboard.
Yeah, it's very handy.
And the line is super crispy. Like there was so much that I didn't know about using this material until I actually got it in my hands.
It's true.
It's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, it's actually quite.
I was pretty scared of it, but I'm not. And I used a lot of these.
Yeah, scissors are great.
Big, juicy scissors. You can take your piece of material and just like carve yourself a nice corner line out of it. This stuff is just fantastic.
Yeah, and
it cuts really well with Lexan scissors.
Also really small ones too for the because all this stuff you can get in various sizes, right, and thicknesses. So sometimes a little small, intricate detail work you need. So several pairs of scissors would be handy. In different sizes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, this material I used for my cowl cover or whatever, it's like 15 thou. And it's really and it works great for that because that's all you need it for. Just a light little, just to cover something up.
Yep, for sure.
Templates.
Yeah, templates. All kinds of templates. First made out of cardboard and then made or out of sort of clear packaging.
Clear. This is an RC 4-wheel drive axle package,
yeah.
And the reason this was so cool is because when I was cutting my inner fenders, I put this on the outside of the body, and then I actually traced the line. I could see through it all, right?
Of course, rather than a piece of cardboard where you can't see through.
So I traced the line onto my styrene, and then just marked it out with a pen.
And away you go.
Chop it out with the scissors, boom. It was the right size the first time.
Yeah.
Cardboard templates.
Yeah. Tons of those.
So you can match the left side to the right side. Yep. This one I made one piece and then I folded it in half and I unfolded it and I got 2 pieces.
Smart.
Inner fenders cut out for the shocks. I used so much of this, like I had no idea that I was going to be this acquainted with little pieces of paper.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. And you end up with a million little strips of debris all over the place.
Little pieces of cardboard that inner fender shapes and stuff, and little pieces I needed to brace stuff. Just crazy.
Yeah, and then various types of glues you use.
Right? Oh yeah, glues. Shoe glue. This stuff for doing the seams inside. Like after you glue it all.
Yeah.
I used some of this CA for gluing some seams. I also use this Plastruct weld stuff.
I love that stuff.
This stuff's amazing.
I love that stuff. That's a must.
This stuff is a must, yeah, because it's like seconds. It doesn't stick to your finger, and it doesn't build up. It doesn't make goo. All it does is melt 2 pieces of styrene together, and that's it.
Yeah, almost become one.
They do.
Yeah.
But I didn't find the seams were really that strong.
Not great.
So I went over them with the shoe goo after.
Careful of shoe goo on styrene, though. If you put too much of it on too thin of a piece, it'll start to melt and chew through it. So
it will.
You either have to dry it quickly, you know, through heat or what have you.
Air.
Yeah.
A dryer, you know, some kind of air blowing that's gentle.
So if your styrene is of a thicker variety, then you're okay per se. But be careful with shoe glue. You can use it. You just got to be careful.
Yeah. So that's what I was using.
White putty, of course, right?
Yeah. Well, I used the green stuff, and I didn't like it very much. Did you like the white stuff?
I didn't even. I use the white stuff. What is the green stuff?
The green stuff is probably the same as the white stuff, but I found that the green stuff, you couldn't put it on any thicker than like a thin piece of styrene.
Oh yeah.
Because it wouldn't dry inside. Like it was like it would dry on the outside, and then when I went to sand it, I could stick my finger right through it. Oh, okay. You know, if it was any thicker than cardboard, it wouldn't dry properly.
I use there's the white putty, and
the white stuff looks way better. Yeah, I've seen it on your dash and stuff, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. However, it does exceptionally well, and you can sort of use it in a, you know, if you need to fill a large void per se in the models world, then it seems to work well. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should have given that a go instead of trying to use this. And maybe it's my fault because I think I've had this around for 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my fault.
Too, right? Yeah.
It was unopened, but maybe it's just aged.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, so these builds have really come together with a collection of everything from buddies in your community who have 3D printers who can print off seats.
Thank you, Jerry.
To your buddies going to the hobby store and picking up paint and styrene bits and so on and so forth.
Yep.
To manufacturers like GCM and manufacturers like Vaterra that make these kits. Really a combination of many varieties of skill levels and materials that really sort of pull off these builds, and you can really make some awesome stuff. So I'm enjoying it.
Magnets.
Yeah.
I'm all about the magnets.
Yeah, it's a cool. When you start to get into them, really become handy.
So there's my tunnel cover, and then my firewall cover just clips on.
Yeah, if you haven't used magnets, get into it.
Then this is the console. Done. It can't fall off, man. There's no way.
I think your most clever design for me, the one I like in particular, is for all those who want to put in their scale accessories, and you sort of add them to the back of your rig or try to add them to your rig somewhere. So not only can you make them look scale, but you can get those points that, if you go into a competition. Yep. Using these magnets is a really clever idea and a really neat way to make sure that these things end up on your vehicles.
I had to do that in the back because the military build is going to have a skid full of ammo.
Oh, cool.
And a bunch of other military paraphernalia, and there's no back seat.
Right.
And the civilian build has to have a back seat, no skid in the back.
Yeah.
Just some scale stuff in the back, but no skid, and I have to put a seat in instead. So the seat's got to be on magnets. So does the skid. So does the scale stuff. So that's just what happened.
Yep, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you're doing a really good job there, fella.
So are you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the next time you see a Blazer update, they may have paint.
They may have paint. Yep, absolutely. Again, when I get into this, it's just, spend a lot of time, devote a lot of time to these things. So,
yeah, I know how you feel.
Yeah, so hopefully next time. So this was just a sort of a long, quick update on the Ascender builds and sort of how we're building these interiors and what's going into them to really sort of make them the next level. And I'm quite happy.
I'm very happy with the kit, and I'm very happy with the changes, and I'm very happy I learned how to glue styrene.
Yeah, awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you bet. Use styrene, folks. Have fun. Make those builds. Build those interiors.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Check out some of the links below for Jerry's seats and all this other fancy stuff we were talking about, the Dinky RC parts and all that, because that helped us out a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you have any questions or comments, right below. Thanks for watching, and get building your tiny trucks. Bye-bye.